Hi, my name is Paul and this is PJT Ventures. Join me while I ramble on like an empty dump truck. Today's ramble, we're going to be working on a Letourneau model DP Tournapull. So this is like, I believe, about a mid-1950s Tournapull. It was after the Westinghouse Letourneau merger. So you can see here it says Westinghouse, Letourneau Westinghouse. Here it's got the big W along with the LET. So I think 52 and 53 was kind of when that happened. So I'm not actually sure the exact date of this machine, but today we're going to start working on this gearbox. Before before I got the machine, someone had already taken this electric motor off. And so I have it in the shop. In order for the electric motors to run, they have to be bolted to these gearboxes. So if you look up there, that motor there and the gearbox have to be together in order to support the rotor on the inside of the electric motor. So someone had already taken this off, so this has been exposed to the elements. So we're gonna have to take this whole thing apart and replace bearings and seals, and you can see in there that's not a healthy sign. Anyways, we'll get this drum off. I believe this drum has to come off, and then this can just unbolt from this frame plate. Now I'm not sure if this has to come off, or if just this has to come off, or if this has some internal. So we're going to start with this one, and we'll take this whole unit off, bring it into the shop, and see what we can find. First things, looks like there's, excuse me. It looks like there is a tensioning system to keep this cable tension tight. And so it looks like this guy goes on here and would turn this. There's I think a big worm gear inside of this big shaft, and I think this will spin and would turn this cogged kind of makeshift gear there, which would then tighten up the cable and would then keep this guy tight. So he goes around here, and when this goes forward or backward, that would create the linear action for the ejector system. So we'll get this guy spun off. Looks like there's a locking set screw there, and then there's these big nuts that came with the machine. There's these big custom sockets that go onto these nuts. So hopefully we can get this guy to spin off, this guy to come off. Hopefully this guy will come out, but we'll get started with this one and see if we can loosen this. See if we can loosen this cable off. Okay, so I think this handle is supposed to spin this. I think it's supposed to look like a plus sign. This piece is broke off here, but I think this looks like there's been lots of hammer marks on here. So my guess is this spins one way, you knock this keeper out of the way, with the convenient handle you tighten this guy up, which tightens the one end of the cable up and makes sure that this multi-wrap drum has sufficient friction to be able to provide the linear action. So now we're going to try to get this all to free up. This will all need new cable, but I don't want to just cut it yet. We're going to try to free this thing up first. We might need to get the torch and heat this up, but so that looks like it's tightening. Look at that. Tighten right up. Well, that's cool. I bet you I can just... Oh yeah, there we go. Cool. Get that all cleaned up. There we go. Okay. Well, that's the end right there. This one might be getting cut. It's a good sign that that drum still turns. Oh yeah, look at that. Let's see, you can see that. So this drum still turns. So hopefully we can take this apart and we'll replace that outer bearing and seal for sure. And who knows what this drum seal looks like. Next is this guy. I'll get regrouped. I need a Allen key here. Boy, I'm hard on these hammers. Don't tell the boss. So fortunately, when I got this, the previous caretaker, I don't want to say owner, I think this piece of equipment chooses its family members. Anyways, these were, I got a whole bunch of these that came with it. And they have, so this one, for example, I probably shouldn't have put the cables loose until I broke this loose now that I'm looking at this whole thing. I was just so excited to play with this worm gear down there. Anyways, so it came with a whole bunch of these, I guess, specialty drive sockets or wrenches, whatever you want to call it, but it has this gap here for this, and look at that. It's probably been a while. It's probably been a while since that was on there, but that's pretty cool. I wonder if it's left or right hand threads. Anyways, it looks like I won't have been the first person to whack on this. Let's give it a shot and see what happens. This, by the way, is the original Mjolnir. Everybody thinks that it's from the movies, but it's actually been here at my house. Oh yeah, look at that. This just spins right off. Oh, awesome. Okay. Anyways, these wrenches also I just brought up from the barn. The original covers that cover the motors. It's a shame that they weren't on all this time. They were just tucked away in the other person's shed, and I mean, you always think you're gonna get to these things, but there's just a lot of life. This pulley is all welded, but I think I'm going to get a puller and see what we can do. Sweet. Tapered and splined. Super strong. And it came off actually pretty easy. Put this back on there to keep these threads safe. And I'll put this little keeper back in there. Yeah, so I'm not sure if the I'm not sure if these big bolts hold the, I don't know if this, I'm going to take it off here. I'll take these guys out because I have a feeling this is part of the gear case in there, but so far there's looks like these are the limit switches down there, those big kind of coffee cup looking things there and there. And I don't know if these ones actuate or not. Let's see. Oh yeah. This one. That one seems stiff, but so here's the wiring. It comes back. These are limit switches. We'll get this off. But this feels good. Who knows what's in there, but it seems to be running fairly smoothly. Good. This kind of stuff I love, where how this handle hasn't gotten fired off into the bushes or lost or left behind, but this of course runs that cable tensioning system right here. But I guess this little simple yet effective clip is why it's still there. But I love the simplicity but effectiveness of it. It's awesome. Okay, we'll try to get these big bolts out. If only we had some torque amplifying device that was convenient. Oh, look at that. Pop this off. Oh yeah, it's not that bad. Okay. Looks like the gasket is coming out. Oh, cool. Okay. Wonder if I can get you to see that. Let's just see. I don't know if you can see down in there. If I turn, there's little planetary gears in there. Okay. To the shop. Okay, we got the gearbox and the motor inside, and we'll get it all cleaned up. I imagine there's going to be a big seal right here. Now I was really hoping for a a seal number, but I doubt we're going to find a seal number. You never know. It's like fingernails on a chalkboard. Ah, got you. It's okay. I'm using a brass hammer. Oh yes, look at that. Look at that. The SF 7544. Sweet. Now, let's look at this. What do we got in here? Come in for a closer look. Will this turn with it there? There's a little bit of grime. Well, I can get to these two bolts now, and I can do these two bolts, and that will separate these two. I'd imagine this is a press fit onto this shaft, and I don't know how much preload is on this. Really shouldn't be any on this style of bearing, but I think we'll separate this now and see what's happening in there. This, when I took it off, you can see here's some gasket material, so I don't know if that's just because the gasket came and followed. Looks like it's we'll take, should just be these internal ones and these two, because these ones are already out from when they were on the frame. wonder if we put a puller right here and pulled this bearing off along with this plate. I bet you this bearing is holding this plate from sliding out. There's probably a bearing for this shaft right there, and I think there's like some kind of, maybe these are three sun gears. Not sure if there's a full planetary in there, but I bet you this guy needs to come off for this guy to come off. Oh, I gotta undo these last bolts here. And those bolts. Okay. Now, that's a good sign. Oh, mice. Gross. Have I told you I hate mice? Okay, well this looks great. I mean, it's unfortunate that it's has a mouse nest in it, but at the same time, there isn't ugh, I should have a mask on for this. Yeah, the big reveal. Let's regroup and I'll get this cleaned up. Nobody likes hantavirus. Okay, I got it vacuumed out of all the mouse nasty. Ugh. I'm gonna give it a blast of some brake clean. That'll kill any remaining biological hazards. If the person had just left, the motor together, it would have made my life easier 20 years later. But we've all been guilty of taking something apart and then it doesn't become a priority anymore, and then mice and rust and water and shame get in there. Anyway, so let's recap here. So these, although they have some surface rust and had a mouse nest in them, I believe they're actually in really good shape. In the bottom of the case, make sure you can see that. In the bottom of the case and on the side of the case are original magnet drain plugs, and they actually look really clean in spite of, I mean, the thing was completely empty of oil, so it had all leaked out of this gasket here, and that gasket did look like it had fallen out on part of it. It was a super thin gasket to begin with. But both magnets were free of debris. There was no big pieces the mice had made a nest, and then of course there was some moisture that could get in through this, along with the mice, through this opening. So there is some corrosion damage on the gears, but the amount that it's on the gears, I think it's going to just be a surface issue, and we'll have to change all of these bearings, but that shouldn't be too bad. These pieces just come out, and so that's some crazy gear reduction there. This guy, I don't quite know what this is going to, if that oh yeah. So this goes partially into this case, and then there's the seal, and then this bearing flange must load up this outer bearing race when this bolts on there. But, and then, so I bet there's just this bearing here, and I can push this shaft through this way to get at this gear. Now it looks like there's another one of those threaded, so maybe I take this guy off, another one of those custom cogged sockets, a little set screw there, this cog socket, so this will spin off, and maybe anyways, but so far everything looks totally repairable, and that's yeah, this bearing is, everything's turned really smooth before I of course took it all apart, but you can hear there's okay. Well, anyways, so we'll get these gears cleaned up, we'll get these bearings replaced, and some new seals. But this looks promising. If this is the worst one of the bunch because it was open, then hopefully the ones that are on the machine on up top and the steering ones look even better. So thanks again for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye for now.